The views and opinions expressed by guests on this podcast are solely their own and do not represent the position of the host, this show, or any organization either party is affiliated with. All content is shared purely for educational and inspirational purposes. Nothing discussed here constitutes professional advice. Listeners are encouraged to independently verify any information before acting on it. The host is not responsible for any outcomes resulting from guest statements. By listening, you agree that you are solely responsible for how you use the information shared. Welcome to the Tech Sharmit podcast, where technology is not just news, but the roadmap to the future. This is a space where we explore the latest tech trends, AI, startups, gadgets, and the ideas that redefine the way we think. Leading this conversation is Amit Sharma, globally recognized as Tech Sharmit. A technologist from Bharat, Amit brings an Indian perspective to the global technology landscape. With deep technical expertise and strong industry insight, and for his contributions and impact within the global tech community, he has been recognized with several prestigious honors, including Google Developer Expert, Microsoft MVP, IBM Champion, and Planet Mainframe Influencer. Through this podcast, he shares practical knowledge, real-world perspectives, and globally relevant thinking designed to help you stay ahead in an ever-evolving technology landscape. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the Tech Sharmit channel to stay updated with future episodes. And if you're looking to level up your skills, don't forget to explore the Tech Sharmit digital course book in the description box, where you'll find thousands of free programming courses curated to help you grow as a developer. So plug in your headphones and join us as we begin today's episode of the Tech Sharmit podcast.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tech Sharmit podcast. Today I am joined by another very special guest, Chedy Missaoui, who is joining us from Tunisia. Chedy is a Microsoft MVP and technical account manager with deep expertise in Microsoft Azure, cloud architecture, DevOps, and enterprise modernization. So today in this episode, we will talk about Azure Platform as a Service, cloud adoption, AI coding assistance, DevOps, enterprise architecture, and the future of AI-powered software development. But before we get started, all of this, I would like to thank Chedy for joining us today in this episode. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us a bit about yourself.
Thanks to you mainly for the invitation. So my name is Chedy. I'm, as you mentioned, I'm currently a technical account manager and technical consultant, mainly focusing on Azure and cloud and Microsoft technologies. So as virtually all of your guests, I got into computer science because I wanted to make games at the beginning. So I got into it in high school. Where we actually in high school we had the courses where we learned programming with Pascal, and that's what led me later on to pursue computer science in college. So I started out focusing on software development. The first in my bachelor years. Later on in my what we call here in Tunisia the engineering degree. I focused more on operations engineering and cloud computing. Okay. In my final, at the end of the engineering degree, we have a 6-month internship in which I focused a little bit on machine learning and had the chance to discover things like clustering, classification, this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So in my first, starting out as mostly a Java developer. My first job was actually a Microsoft technology position. So okay. That's when I discovered C#. Actually, I liked it a lot. It had a lot of nice features. And then C# started becoming better and better over the years, and started becoming compatible with Linux, which was very nice. Yeah. So I was always interested in the continuous integration practices, extreme programming practices, this kind of stuff, which with the opportunities that came up with my job. So I eventually got into DevOps and back into cloud computing, mainly with Azure. So
Okay.
I worked on DevOps transformations with our customers' organizations. And that's when I discovered that the people, we think usually that technical problems are the hardest. I discovered that actually people and process problems were way more challenging. So
Hmm.
today I focus on agentic AI coding, and I try to get better at using AI to accelerate productivity.
So it's really good to know like how your journey got
Mm,
started as a Java developer, and like you have
mm,
almost exposed all the position and domains in before you will move into the cloud technologies. And now we all
mhm.
know that as a Microsoft MVP also you are contributing a lot to this community beyond your professional role. So it's
Yeah.
really too inspiring for those who are into the similar kind of work, so they know the worth you are sharing with the community. And
Mhm,
here, like while doing some research about your profile, Shady, we found one very interesting
mhm,
thing, that you are very specifically focused on Azure platform as a service rather than the whole cloud stack. So I just
mhm.
wanted to understand that philosophy behind it. Like, why is platform as a service the layer where you believe that the real business value is won or lost? So why? What are your opinion on that?
So I think platform as a service is interesting for as much as for small and medium companies to large companies.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about infrastructure as a service, it eliminates a lot of effort like managing data centers and the physical infrastructure, virtualization, this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But there is still some effort in managing operating system upgrades, operating system vulnerabilities, this kind of stuff. When you think about software has now infrastructure as a service gives you a lot of flexibility to build a lot of stuff.
Hmm,
Okay.
right.
On the other hand, you have software as a service. So software as a service, you just have a credit card, a web browser, an internet connection, and you can use whatever offer is available online.
Correct.
But you may have limited customization compared to what you will have with the infrastructure as a service. A platform as a service is the middle ground. So it's
Mhm.
targeted for developers. It's just an environment slot in which you can deploy an application.
Correct.
So this is very interesting. So it allows to further eliminate kinds of work compared to infrastructure as a service. So you don't have to manage operating system and kind of stuff. And it gives more flexibility than software as a service
Mm,
because
right.
you can develop whatever you need to develop. So this is the main benefit. Business value can be lo- can be gained using platform as a service by leveraging this flexibility and this elimination of effort.
Mm-hmm.
But it can be lost if it's not done correctly. So platform has a, when you build software for platform as a service, is not similar to where we used to build software for a physical, virtual, or infrastructure as a service infrastructure. So application should adhere to the 12 factor apps.
Mm-hmm.
For example, application should, for example, tend to be stateless so that we can scale them easily. Application should be easily configurable using various configuration stores. Uh, what else can you think about? Application need to be version controlled, easily
Yes, very
deployable.
important.
We need to yeah, we need to have CI/CD for the established for the application. We can't rely on manual deployments, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Infrastructure. We need to use infrastructure as code, so we're not constantly creating infrastructure manually and this kind of stuff. And we need to not overload operations engineering concerns. So
Mm-hmm.
platform as a service diminishes the effort in operations engineering, but does not eliminate it completely. For example, we still have to think about security. We still have to think about high availability of the services.
Right.
We still to need to build observability into the services, this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So making sure to address these kind of issues and challenges is where the real business value is won.
Right. Yes, and I think when we look at this Azure thing and adoption of Azure, so mainly like it
Mhm,
sounds very simple, but on the ground, when we talk about the same thing from the perspective of organization and individual also, there are lots of
mhm,
challenges that we need to figure it out, and at the right time we need to fix it out. So
mhm,
from your experience, like when you walk into an organization that has adopted Azure, but they feel
mhm,
that they are not getting the real value from it. So what is a
mhm.
proper roadmap that you follow in the initial few days to find out like what are the issues and how you help them to diagnose it?
So, first thing, in my experience, first thing that I look at is how the Azure infrastructure is managed.
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunately, organizations uh, historically having on-premises infrastructure tend to treat Azure infrastructure as it was on-prem. So,
Mm-hmm.
with the, for example, one of the core capability of cloud, for example, is self-service,
Correct.
is that you can directly access a user interface or an API and get the infrastructure that you want. Some
Yes.
organizations actually eliminate the self-service capability by putting the cloud infrastructure, for example, behind ticketing system. So you'll have to create a ticket or talk to someone to get infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
Some other organizations still rely on manual operations. So cloud infrastructure offers rich capabilities to fully automate the operations against the infrastructure. So what I unfortunately see sometimes is either no infrastructure automation or partial infrastructure automation. So
Mm-hmm.
usually it's easy, for example, to automate creating an app service, a database, for example, and forget about private IP allocation, certificate creation, this kind of stuff. So this leads to partial automation. Uh, and something else I try to focus on is the level of skill the organizations with respect to cloud computing. So unfortunately, some organizations rush into adopting cloud, but internally in their organization, they don't have yet the skills to
Correct.
actually use cloud computing. So
Yes.
mainly two things: treating cloud infrastructure as if it was on-prem, and lack of skills.
Yes,
That's
and I
two
think
main
skill
points.
is something that you should mainly prioritize, because if you have adopted the Azure system and your team is not fully skilled on it, so they are not aware like how to utilize it for the proper benefits or ROI kind of thing. So that is the very important thing, that skill set should be there. And here, Shidi, I just want to ask you one more thing, because when we are
Mhm,
talking about the real business requirement, and
mhm,
on the other hand, if we want to scale it through Azure solution, so this process
mhm.
sounds very simple, but at the end, when we talk about the ground reality, it's not that easy. Like there are so many challenges or issues there, right? So
Mhm.
from your journey, like what you think, like what are the common pitfalls that organization often face when they are translating the business requirement into scalable Azure solution, or what are the circumstances where it often breaks down in the practice?
So I would say mainly 2 points. First
Mm-hmm.
point goes back a little bit to the skill gap issue. So as we said, the organization starts treating Azure infrastructure as it was on-prem and fails to leverage the advantages of cloud infrastructure, advantages like automation, elasticity, etc.
Mm-hmm.
This might be the first point. Second point, uh, organizations starts using cloud services. It's easy to use, it's easy to deploy, but they overlook at the beginning security and governance concerns. So
Mm-hmm.
later on, they can get security issues, vulnerabilities, stuff that's exposed in the internet. publicly. Governance issue with cost control, for example, they may get surprising costs. Having habits of acquiring infrastructure in advance. So yeah, second point is mainly governance and security. Gets
Governance,
overlooked,
security.
then comes to bite later.
Okay. All right. So now, moving ahead, we'll talk about one of the most hot topic nowadays, that is AI. And you are, I think, the
Mhm.
right person to talk on AI because you also describe yourself as a AI coding agent enthusiast. So, firstly, I just wanted to know your journey for the AI. Like, what first made you to take the AI assisted development seriously, rather than dismissing its high portion of the AI? So, how it started?
So I remember back when ChatGPT 3 was released, I think around 2022 and 2021. So I
Mm-hmm.
started experimenting a little bit with the technology. It was very impressive. Around ChatGPT 3.5, I started to experiment with code generation. And the first thing I tried to do was to actually generate classic old games like Pong, Block Breaker, Snake, this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I was trying to generate a single HTML5 page that would contain an implementation of the game. And it was back in the chat GPT 3.5, it was pretty impressive at the time. So managed to convince somehow my organization to start using AI coding tools like Copilot.
Mm-hmm.
And then GitHub Copilot got the agent mode.
Yeah.
And so back in the day, when Claude Sonnet 4 was released with the agent mode, started experimenting on it day to day. And I remember I was doing some scripting work to automate some scripting work to create some scripts to be integrated into CI/CD pipelines.
Mm-hmm.
And I managed to get 2 days worth of scripting work in half a day.
Okay.
It was pretty impressive. And that's the exact point where I was convinced of the technology. So I think it was back in 2024. Started questioning myself, what would this thing look like in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And today, with the latest Opus models and GPT 5.5, uh, we're getting some serious benefits. So today, I don't code by hand as I used to do in the past. I just think about what I want to do, and I tell the agent to do it. Of course, I will need to review the
Correct. Yeah.
output of the
That
agent.
is very important. Yeah.
Yeah, so the autonomy of the agents is not yet advanced to the point
Hmm.
I'm trusted fully 100%.
Correct.
But Claude Sonnet 4 was the turning point. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Here, I just want to take one question from the point of view of students. Okay. So let's say
Hmm.
there are a set of students who wants to learn about AI, and
Hmm.
not only for the chat purpose, they don't want to use as a chatbot, but they are interested into agent kind of thing. And the thing is
Hmm.
that they are not able to afford the costly platforms, like they just want to use free trial version, right? So in that
Hmm.
case, what you would suggest them, like how they can start learning about AI agent, any platform or anything that you can recommend them to learn, where they can learn it, like how to use those API, how they can build their first agent using free trial versions. So, do you have anything in the mind right now?
Unfortunately, for a student, if you're starting from a modest background,
Mm-hmm.
uh, cloud serv- uh, so uh, cloud services based AI agents can be pretty much expensive.
Yes,
And even if you would like to run some models locally, you would require some beefy hardware,
correct.
which is getting expensive. So what you can do as a students, maybe rely on the free tier of the AI services available, for example, ChatGPT, Gemini,
Yes.
Grok, this kind of stuff. And maybe so specifically to GitHub Copilot, if you're a student, you can register to the student pack. So
Mm-hmm.
it gives you very little credit. I think it's
Yeah.
200 AI credits per month, but it can get you started and you can start discovering the technologies for agentic AI with.
Yes.
But we hope that with with the time it's going to get cheaper and accessible.
Yes, right. And I
Yeah.
think students, especially students, like they can start with some those
Mm,
platforms, like those are providing the credits for the students, so that at least they can have idea like how these things works. And once
mm,
like they are able to understand how to use those models, then they can maybe purchase it to learn more in a deeper
yeah.
way. So in that way, like they can
Yeah.
also save the time and expenses before they
Hmm.
directly try with the actual system. All right.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so Shady, now I just wanted to talk about a bit about the development life cycle. So, because you are also
Hmm.
interested into AI across the entire development life cycle from specifications to operations.
Yeah.
So, where is that life cycle is AI is actually delivering, and where is it is just promising the things, and we can say it's a myth that it is delivering the things. So, how you can draw the
Mhm.
parallels on the ground reality?
Okay. So, according to my experience,
Mm-hmm.
if you talk about specification, requirement specification, if you
Yes.
talk about coding, if you talk about design, if you talk about prototyping research and approach research,
Mm-hmm.
if you talk about approach in operations engineering and software testing, pretty much the whole development life cycle is covered. Now, what's still a promise is the level of autonomy. So I think that what's being advertised currently, the level of autonomy of agent that is advertised is a bit too high.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we need to still be reviewing the output of AI agents. Uh, Another point is from ethical point of view. I see developers mostly using agentic AI more than, for example, product manager and testers and operations engineer.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think that adoption will be coming soon to all the roles of the development lifecycle.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. And when we talk about the workflow, so let's say if any organization
Mhm.
reach out to you and they wanted to know like how to adopt AI in their dev workflows. So what would
Mhm.
you suggest them? Like what would be the things that you would suggest them to avoid when they are adopting the AI for the dev workflows? So what are those things?
So, main thing to avoid, stop thinking and to stop understanding. So,
Okay.
if you have an AI agent that's generating lines and lines and lines of code, uh, you give it a try, you test it and it works. It's
Mm-hmm.
easy to get lazy and to not at least review or try to understand the output of the AI. So I myself catch myself not carefully reviewing out of laziness sometimes, but it's the main thing that I would advise organization to do. So do not stop thinking, do not stop understanding what is being generated. It may be it maybe seems to be working right now, but you will still need some careful reviewing, some careful testing, some methodic testing, reviewing from a security point of view, from a maintainability point of view, so that you don't get issues later on.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
important. Okay. All right. So although like we have so many plenty of things related to technical thing that we can discuss here, but before we
Mm.
move to the next part of the discussion, I just want to take one more question. And again, this is from the student perspective. So Shady,
Mhm.
let's say if someone is listening to this podcast at the very early stage of their career, and
Mhm.
they also wanted to become a cloud, they also wanted to pursue the cloud career, So, what's the
Mhm.
one mindset shift you wish someone had handed you early at your time that would have
Mhm.
saved your years of the wrong kind of effort? So, what piece of advice would you like to share with those young professionals?
So I remember when I was young, I was actually a bit too perfectionist,
Mm-hmm.
and when approaching projects, I was trying to build what I had in mind more than I was trying to understand what needed to be built.
Mm-hmm.
So, advice to young people: uh, before starting to build, always try to have discussions with customers or with your managers or with your supervisors or colleagues, and try to understand what's the minimum that need to be built, and
Yes.
what's the priority that we should be working on, and work on that. You prioritize what's important, you work on it, and then you show it and you get feedback, and then
Okay.
you use the feedback to make the things better. It's better than to start theorizing stuff and building what's in your mind and investing a lot of effort and then discovering that that's
Correct.
not what it's needed at the end.
Yes.
So
So
don't hesitate. So don't hesitate to communicate. Don't hesitate to show stuff, and don't hesitate to get feedback.
yes. Yeah, I'm also agree. Like, firstly, you should know your requirements because if you're not interacting with your team and if your the requirement is not clear, then you might end up with something wrong.
Mm.
So it's better to
Yeah.
discuss with your team. And then if you want to come up with some alternative solution that you can suggest and discuss within your team. And once everything
Mhm.
is planned in your brain, then you can start building it so that you will get a better outcomes of the results as well. All right.
100%.
Okay, so Shady, now we'll talk bit about your journey again. So not these things are beyond the technical things. So like
Mhm.
as a mentor, as an expert, you have touched so many lives, right? Through your work.
Mhm.
But looking back on your career, who were the key people around you who had a defining impact on your journey so far?
So many people had an impact on my life, both on the personal level and the professional
Yeah.
level. On the personal level, of course, I would like to express my gratitude to my mom. On the professional level, I would like actually to focus on two persons in my professional career that I think believed in me early on and that
Mm-hmm.
gave me opportunities. So, first one is Rafiq Bahman, so my current manager.
Okay.
Second one is Slim Trabelsi, who was my manager at my end of study internship that we mentioned in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm very grateful to these two individuals for having believed in me very early on and for the opportunity they gave me.
Okay. So yeah, it's great to know like how people can help us to be a better version of ourselves by their support
Yeah.
and contribution. So thanks to all those person who were there in your journey to help you out.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, as I mentioned, like there are so many things that we can discuss, but we are short on time. So I just want to take one more
Mhm.
question. And this question is
Mhm.
regarding the place you belong from. So, as a
Ah,
proud
okay.
citizen of Tunisia, what is
Yeah.
one thing, best thing about your country that you feel proud to share with the global audience? I know like there are so many good things, but you had to select
Uh,
one. So, what is one that thing?
okay, Amit, actually, I'll be honest with you. I like two very simple things about Tunisia.
Mm-hmm.
First is the amazing weather.
Okay.
Second is the amazing food.
Okay.
I like very much our food, actually.
Okay. So we can say that those who are interested into enjoying the amazing weather and food, now you have
Yeah,
a best place to visit and enjoy your holidays or vacation there. So that's
yeah.
great. All right. So, yeah, thank you so much, Shady, for joining us today in this episode and for sharing so much information regarding the cloud as well as your working philosophy, and also a piece of information related to the advice that you shared for the young developers. I'm sure like it will help so many other listeners. So, thank you once again for joining us today in this episode and for sharing your expertise with everyone.
Thanks to you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much.